Good morning, dear students. The topic of today's lesson is English in global interaction. So, and the first activity is a live-in activity, which deals with identifying countries where English is used as a first language or mother tongue for the majority of population. The next group consists of countries where English is considered to be the official language. And the third group consists of the countries where English is widely spread. So please, one by one, come to the board and stick the flags which indicate the country. So the first group is native. The second group, official, and widely used. So what do we mean by the official language?
Second language.
It is used in law, administration, trade, and business. What about widely used?
Only few population speak English like
English, right? And it is taught in schools. Right here. So please come to the board and see the flags one by one. So, which country?
Australia.
Australia. So it refers to which group? The first group, right? This native, right here. So this is Australia, thank you. So the next one. Canada. Right here. Well, what about Germany? Widely used, right? Germany, widely used. English is widely used there. India. Official, right? India is official.
UK is native.
Right, UK is native. Native, mature, thank you.
This is Brazil and Brazil official language.
Brazil, is it official or widely used?
Widely
used. You should change it. So widely used. China, widely used, right? Widely used. Japan, widely used, right? Thank you. Right, New Zealand, native. This native. Nigeria. It's pronounced as Nigeria. Right? Nigeria, what about Nigeria? What do you think? Nigeria, yes, it is official. It is official. In Nigeria, it is official language. Right, thank you.
Singapore.
Official language, right? It is official language for Singapore. And we have two more countries. Philippines. Philippines. What about Philippines? Philippines, official. Philippines, official. And one more is South Africa. It is official. Official language. So we identified the countries where English is considered to be native language or L1 or mother tongue for the majority of population, official language, it means L2, and where it is used in different spheres. Okay. As the topic of today's lesson is English in global interaction, so we should mention the term lingua franca. What is lingua franca in general? Have you ever heard such kind of term? Lingua franca?
Lingua franca is people speak in target language, not native language. Lingua EFL is native, is related. This term is related to native speaker, but ELF is related to the speak to target language.
So, and thank you for your answer. And you may use this abbreviation, ELF, which means English as a lingua franca. And if you use the abbreviation EFL, it means that English is used as a foreign language. English is used as a foreign language. So what is lingua franca? So lingua franca serves as a means of communication between people who have different language backgrounds, different cultural backgrounds. And it is not just the means of communication, but it is a means of interaction between different people. They share their ideas, opinions, views, cultural features, etc. So, and lingua franca covers such areas as trade, business, education, diplomacy, and
Science.
right, and science in general, right one. Thank you. So, and now let's analyze the circle which represents these languages. So, look at this countries. Here you see the circle which consists of 3 parts. So the inner circle deals with what kind of languages, what kind of countries I indicate. Right, so inner circle refers to the countries where English is spoken as a native language, and we named all these countries. The second one is the outer circle. Outer circle. Where English is used as an official language. Right? What about a standing circle? Widely used language. Right. Now let's turn to the report about English as a lingua franca. So read it first. Afterwards, we'll fulfill some tasks based on this report. English as a lingua franca. So pay attention to the key ideas expressed in this report. You can underline key features which characterize English as lingua franca. Underline it in the copy, please. Okay, ready? Now, name key features which characterize English as lingua franca. Is your group? Some idea that you have underlined.
It's widely used in international communication.
Right. It's widely used in international communication. This is the first idea. Okay, right, thank you. The next one.
Its main function is to enable understanding and cooperation rather than to reproduce or imitate the native languages. Native speakers.
Right. Right, Shiva, thank you. What about you? What have you found? What do you consider to be the most important feature that characterizes English as lingua franca?
Communication in English lingua franca settings often involves adjusting pronunciation, grammar, or vocabulary to ensure clarity.
To ensure clarity, right? So, now we will fulfill the following task. You should complete the Venn diagram which compares English as a lingua franca and English as a foreign language. English as a lingua franca, English as a foreign language, and the features which are common to both of them. You should indicate these features in this overlapping part of these two circles. So is it clear? Use the information and data presented in the article. So you should work and the numbers will be draw these two circles. So you should take the information from this article. So it is a task for comparing and contrasting. Comparing and contrasting. So do you have any questions? No. So use the markers. So you may use this data. So when you finish writing about English as a leading tongue and English as a foreign language, you are able to compile the overlapping font, which deals with the shared features. Shared features. Shared features. Shared features. Yes. We will use this information in this article. So can you finish? So can you finish? So what about you? Which is which are one? Now, any examples Let's come there. You have finished. So what about you? Have you finished? So you are ready, okay? What about you? You may write points. Finish it up, please. So we'll wait for. So that is right. So now we will make your presentations concerning comparing ELF and EFL. So the first group, you are welcome. Thank you for your group. Please come to the board. Demonstrate your Venn diagram to your groupmates. To your groupmates. And share your ideas with your groupmates.
Firstly, ALF.
So listen to them attentively and be ready to ask questions.
First of all, strategy drive paraphrasing, reputation, negotiation of meaning. Second one, cultural awareness across multiple traditions, for example, politeness, directness, or humor. Third one is communication prioritized over strict rules. EFL, first one, British and American standards have dominated English teaching and assessment. Second one, the cultural reference is often limited to Britain and USA. The third one, communication strategies fail and emphasizes both sides of LFE and EFL. It depends on language, motivation, and characteristics, and developing listening and speaking influenced by global thinking. That's all.
Right, thank you. Do you have any questions? Thank you for your presentation. And keep in mind that you mentioned the term communication strategies. Communication strategies. What communication strategies do you know? For example, when English is not your mother tongue, it is a foreign language for you. So,
Being
you
polite
can,
during the communication.
right, you should be polite. Right, you should be
Speaking
polite.
English.
Don't interrupt your interlocutor.
Yeah, pay attention speaker, avoid jargon.
Right, avoid slang words, something that can be offensive, offensive for your interlocutor, right? But, for example, if you have some problems with finding an appropriate word, and you don't know this word, or you can't find the equivalent, so what strategy will you use? You can paraphrase, right? And you can describe it. You can explain it with the help of your mime and gestures. Also, what else?
We can give a definition of the
Definition of this object. Right, Joan, thank you. So now let's pass to the second group. Please come to the group. And share your ideas with your groupmates. Okay.
Firstly, English is a lingua franca. It focuses on intelligibility and presents every domain in education, in business, in politics, in tourism, and also in online interaction. And it's not about imperfect English, but rather about effective communication and multicultural dimension. And also, it doesn't depend on conformity on native English language norms.
When it comes to EFL, it's more focused on grammar rules, and also it helps to communicate with linguists. If you make mistake, it's not a big deal. You're just a learner. The last opinion of the British and American English accents are eliminated or examined. And both for them are all of them require grammar, vocabulary, skills. Both of them help to communicate, and both of them are basis for English.
Right, Joan, thank you. Thank you for your ideas. Do you have any questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
And one point that was mentioned in your presentation was the grammar rules, right?
Yes.
So, what is the difference between standard variety of language and non-standard variety of language? We discussed it last lesson. Standard variety of English and non-standard variety of English. What about standard variety? What is standard variety?
And standard variety it means strict rules that in communication and while speaking, speakers should pay attention to the correctness of grammatical rules and pronunciation. But when it comes to the non-standard form of language, it's not as strict as the standard form, and they can use in some time they can paraphrase the word. They don't have to use the exact same word, and it's mostly oriented to the comfort of speaker to express himself. And it has several dialects. The speakers can
They refer to non-standard variety of language. If we use the term standard variety, we imply that the language is codified in dictionaries and grammar books. It turns to be the correct version of language, right? And you should follow these rules strictly. But if we speak about non-standard variety, usually we imply what? Dialects and accents used by native speakers of English. And can you give some examples of the vocabulary and pronunciation of words which represent the non-standard variety or dialects? For example, Tüfoke and vice versa, right?
Yes.
Remember these examples? Okay, for example, the word desk is
Yes.
standard English, is desk in dialect. Right. Or, for example, wrist is pronounced as risk. What else? Credit is pronounced as credit.
Mouse.
Right. F for set, right. Smith is pronounced as Smith. Mouse is pronounced as mouse. And even the personal pronoun Carol can be pronounced in three different ways. When is deleted, it is pronounced as Carol. When is deleted, it is pronounced as Carol. When both of them are deleted, it is pronounced as Carol. Right, thank you. So now let's turn to the third group. You're welcome. Present the ideas, please.
English is a lingua franca, cross-cultural awareness. English speak is a shared global resource. Learners who of knowledge of English as international users accept diversity is accepted as long as it's understandable. Realities of our interconnected world, global facts of communication, intelligibility, understanding that the ultimate goal of language, multicultural cooperative communication.
Thank you.
English is foreign language. English seen as belonging to native speaker countries. Learners often compare themselves to native norms. Accent reduction considered important. Sound like a native speaker and imitate British or American English exactly.
And both use English as a tool for interaction. Both involve language learning, teaching, practice. Both require awareness of context.
Thank you. Do you have any questions? Thank you for your presentation. And you emphasized intercultural communication in your presentation. What is intercultural communication? So mind that people with different cultural and language backgrounds use English as a means of communication, right?
So they can exchange cultures and traditions by using this English as a tool.
They can share what? Different etiquette formulas in different situations. What else?
They can find the
Forms of addressing people,
Politeness.
expressing right forms of politeness. Right, you know? For sharing ideas. For sharing ideas. Right. So now we'll watch video, which demonstrates the usage of English as a lingua franca. So you should. So, while watching this video, you should pay your attention to the accent of different speakers. And there are some tasks for you. Then you should find an appropriate word. Find an appropriate word. So ready? And by the way, the video is called "If you understand this 10 accents, your English is amazing. So now we'll check. Okay, let's start.
For both the files,
Shah Rukh Khan speaks English.
mine got to be chosen to be storytelling. You really don't have a plan in your head.
Steven speaks English.
In our previous lesson, we explored various weapons from the long range etc. to the short.
And so does Adele.
The thing is, I've seen just something else. There's only a little curtain separating us.
Now, if you want to understand other people and want to communicate effectively, then you must understand different accents. That is what we're going to check now. I have designed a test for you with 10 accents. I will show you a gapped text and I will play the audio. You should listen and fill out the gaps. It's gonna be fun. Now remember, I won't be playing the audio files twice because the video will get too long. So if you need to listen again, just rewind the video, play again, listen carefully, and then fill out the gaps. And also if you need time, you can just pause, go back, play. You can do whatever you want, as long as you complete the gaps. And now let's start. The first 4 accents I have for you are native English speakers. Let's go to Northern England.
When I get a day off, I like to go up into the Yorkshire Dales. These are sort of hills, about 20 miles from where I live. And I'll walk through the day. I'll set off while it's still dark and walk for about 8 hours. And at the end of that, finish up in a village somewhere and have a nice meal.
So, how was it? It was quite easy, right? The Northern England accent has some subtle
So can we found this word? The first one, so try the second one? And the last one? The last one?
differences compared to the British accent. Let's check the answers in 3, 2, 1. Did you get all of them right? Now let me explain something here. The Northern English accent usually does not say the I sound and instead says ah, something like call, ah. So instead of I, you hear ah. For example, when I get, not I get. Or instead of I like to go, you can hear I like, and not I like, but I like. Or instead of where I live, what did you hear? Where I live. I live, not I, but I. Now, the next thing that was very interesting here was how native speakers link words and phrases together. And this is something that students often struggle with.
What are the features of this accent? What are the features of this
I
accent?
speak I,
Right. What else?
They connect words.
Yes.
8 hours.
Because it makes it hard to understand. For example, about 8 hours. About 8 hours. 3 different words. But you do not usually hear about 8 hours. Instead, you heard this.
And walk for about 8 hours.
About 8. So you hear the word tate because they're linked together. Tate. About 8. About 8. About 8. And 8 hours would become 8 towers. You hear the word tower. So take tower. About 8 hours. About 8 hours. You see, that's more difficult. Or another example of how these words are linked together in a sentence. Finish up in a village. Finish up in. Up in. Up in. Up in. Up in. You hear the word pin. Pin a village. Finish up in a village. Finish up in a village. Those are the things that usually make it difficult to understand native speakers. A lot of the students think it is difficult to understand native speakers because they speak fast, but that's not the case. They do not necessarily speak fast all the time, but what happens is pronunciation, intonation, word stress, sentence stress, and a lot of the times linking words together in a sentence can make it difficult for people to understand native speakers. And now for this one, let's go to number 2. We're going to Scotland and we're going to listen to the beautiful Scottish accent.
I live in the country and I'm quite lucky because where I live is sort of on the top of a range of low flat hills, so it's quite windy. On good days, I like to take my children out and go.
English is not just the language of the UK, the US, Canada, or Australia. It is the international language, and the people together. And this is something that students often struggle with. Think it is difficult.
It's sort of on the top of a range of low, flat hills, so it's quite windy. On good days, I like to take my children out and go and fly kites. The children have got little kites because obviously if it's too windy and with a big kite, it would be too much for them, they couldn't control it. But they thoroughly enjoy being out just in the fresh air.
Let's see how you did in 3.
Let's check one.
The
The next one.
We go.
The next
Part.
and
Translation.
3, 2, 1. Now you know that in British accent you do not pronounce the R sound. You don't say R. You don't say water. You don't say sort of. You say sort of. Sort, not sort. However, in Scottish accent, they pronounce the R. For example, sort of. Listen.
Sort of on the top of
Or another one. For them.
too much for
Or
well, what are the features of the Scottish accent? What have you learned from this video?
R is pronounced clearly.
Yes, it's sort of that.
And the speaker?
fresh air. So not only do they have different tea,
The spring, of course, is the best time when everything's coming into bud, and then later in the summer into full flower. It's really wonderful. And even when it's raining, you can still get great pleasure visiting gardens.
that was easy, right? Look at this. 3, 2, 1. That was a beautiful pronunciation of the...
So do you have the same words? Large, flower.
word garden. Now you see, it's not pronounced garden. It's pronounced garden. Garden. Listen.
Gardens.
And there were 2 words here. Bud and flower. Now, what is a bud? A plant, before giving flowers, first gives something very small, which is a bud, and then that bud later turns into a flower. All right, let's go on to the next place, which is Northern Ireland, and we're going to listen to Irish accents.
YouTube is I'm working
3, the nation. The intonation here in the mountains and vibes.
To do it, to undercuts only.
So that is English spoken by non-native speakers. So these are the
It's an unbelievable achievement. Being a world Guinness, it's amazing. And of course, Scott winning gold is even more special. So I have to say thank you to the stadium, to Iceland, the people, the fans, the stadium to do it, this kind of party for me.
How was it? Well, he was talking pretty slowly, so it was easy to understand and follow. How
So the speech was slow, right?
Yeah.
What about the accent? What about the intonation, the pronunciation of words? How to understand? And we feel the influence of the person's mother tongue.
However, he made a few pronunciation mistakes that made it difficult to understand. For example, the first time I listened to this, I could not understand the 200 cups, because he says something like caps. And I was like, why is he talking about 200 caps? But no, he was talking about 200 cups. And he also made a mistake here when he said, to do a party. We usually hold a party. To hold a party, to organize a party, but not to do a party. I mean, it's totally fine to make this.
But in spite of these mistakes, in spite of the mispronunciation of the word, the communication is possible.
mistakes here, because he's a non-native speaker, it's fine. As long as we can understand him, that's good. Moving on to the next place. We're going to go to India, and we're going to listen to Shah Rukh Khan.
Actually, you know, when you start your journey in any profession, mine got to be chosen to be storytelling. You really don't have a plan in your head. I'll be honest and very candid because I'm genuinely thrilled that Faye is speaking with me, and I will not try to put on any of the superstar intellect and convolute my answers. I'll keep it very simple, that I have no idea what story I want to tell.
How was it? Well, it wasn't a very thick Indian accent. It could be thicker, more difficult to understand. This was good. Let's see if you got them right. 3, 2, 1. But I tell you what.
Do you have the same? Do you have the same words? Words you pronounce clearly? The first word is journey. Who has journey? Raise your hands. Almost all of you. Right. And the next one, can be. Can be. Genuinely. Only 4 students. Right. And the last one, convolute. No one.
He used very interesting vocabulary. Candid, very interesting adjective. What does it mean? It means honest and telling the truth. I'll be very candid with you. Genuinely. What does that mean? It means in an honest way. You can say sincerely, genuine, honest. And finally, convolute. Convolute means to make something complex or difficult to understand. All right, next place we're going to go is China. And we're going to listen to
So the next one is Chinese accent.
the founder of Alibaba, who is Jack Ma. Let's go.
And our philosophy is that we want to make an ecosystem. Our philosophy is to empower others to sell, empower others to service, making sure the other people are more powerful than us. Making sure with our technology, our innovation, our partners, our 10 million small business sellers, they can compete with Microsoft, IBM.
How was that? Well, he was a very good speaker of English, I give you that. He was speaking clearly, but as he was saying some of the words, you could easily understand that it is becoming more and more challenging. Let's see if you got them right in 3, 2, 1. I particularly like the way he said,
Well, do you have the same? Yes. System, service, technology, and customers. So what about this speech? How can you characterize this speech?
It's so clear.
What about the vocabulary? The vocabulary is also used properly. Properly for this context, for this speech. Right here. So now, what is your conclusion concerning this video? You listen to different speakers, native speakers, non-native speakers. So what is your conclusion?
Non-native speakers speak more fluently than we can understand the non-native speakers. And natives use more difficult words.
Words, but also.
And English as a lingua franca is easier to understand and to keep the peace of communication with expressing our thoughts and ideas.
Thank you for your ideas. And now let's go to the next activity. I'll distribute these quotations. All of them are about English as a global language and about English as a global franca. And you should discuss these quotations in your groups and in your writings. So here is the response. Quotation. So you will discuss Robert Phillipson's quotation. And use is Barbara Sanford. So this counts. Yes. Yes. Okay, so let's discuss your position. So the stand up, really.
Our presentation is from Barbara Cooper. The quote is, English is a lingua franca, is not a set of codified rules, but a cognitive practice characterized by variability, negotiation, and accommodation.
Accommodation.
From that, Barbara emphasized the flexibility in the dynamic nature of ELAB. Unlike standard English, which relied on the strict grammar rules or vocabulary rules, ELAB is shaped by how speakers adjust to each other in real time, as this stresses the importance of adaptability in incorporation rather than rule correctness. It means that ELAB is not about imperfect English, it's about learning English with the native speakers.
So it makes your communication dynamic. Do you have any additions? No? Well, thank you for your comments. Sit down, please. Your position.
So, firstly,
Stand up, please. And repeat.
Crystal did that.
Who is David Crystal? First of all, who is David Crystal? David Crystal is a famous British linguist. Okay, so.
English is a global language because it's a language of opportunity, of knowledge and of communication across the borders. So Crystal emphasizes that English opens the doors like professionally, academically, and socially. So if the students learn English more, we have so many opportunities to learn, to go to move in the overseas and meet new people.
Thank you. So it serves as a bridge between different cultures, between different languages. Thank you. And first.
Where it's from Robert Hilton, and it said, the spread of English across the world is not just a linguistic phenomenon, but it's a social and cultural one. In this quote, this quotation draws attention to the cultural impact of English, since English is a global language. People who are from diverse backgrounds and from diverse cultures can share their ideas and will have an opportunity to understand each other's cultures. In my opinion, English is not just a language, but also it's a bridge to bring the cultural difference and cultural gap between the nations. And if a learner engage in this language, learning this language, they not only be able to work in a competitive environment, but also they can have an opportunity to understand the world globally, in a global scale.
Thank you. So you pay attention to a language as a bridge. So if you compare language to a bridge, so it means that this is metaphor rising in the language. Here we speak about the English language. Now let's review the material discussed. during this lesson, and you will answer some questions. 2 questions for each group. So you will answer the question, the first 2 questions. First 2 questions for you. Question number 3, question number 4. And you will answer the questions 5 and 6. 5 and 6. Ready? So what about you? Are you ready? What is not ready? So what about you? So do you have any comments with concerning these questions? No? Ready? Ready? Ready. So let's discuss these questions, which cover the important thing of today's lesson. So the first question is, ready?
Why is English
So listen to who makes it happen.
why is English often referred to as lingua franca in today's world? Like Francesca says, today is English not only language, it's like bridge. It helps to us communicate with other nations, and it also uses in business, diplomacy, science, medicine, or technology.
Traveling also.
Yes, traveling. It also allows to people to find job in our modern world. In every job needs English.
John, thank you. Thank you for your answer. So the second question.
What are some domains where English plays a dominant role
Globally,
globally?
right. Name these domains, please.
Yes, English domains in international business, higher education, scientific research, media, diplomacy, tourism, and technology. For example, most academic journals and online platforms publish content primarily in English. So it's very crucial to know in English because you easily understand these resources and you can easily find them in English.
So you can acquire this information in English.
Yes.
Right. Thank you. Thank you for your answer. So, your group is.
Do you think the global spirit of English is more of the purity or the spirit of linguistic diversity? Why? It's both, because English provides opportunity for communication worldwide, finding the job easily. However, it can also threaten to minority languages because minority languages have status and use, and also in the future they will shift or even extinct.
How does English in global interaction differ from native speaker varieties? In global interaction, English is more simplified and avoids from strict rules of grammar or idioms. For example, in diplomacy or when we learn English, we can use simple forms, but we don't use slangs or difficult tense of words, so it's easier than native speakers.
It's a rather simplified version
Yes.
of language. So it may be comfortable and effective communication.
How has globalization contributed to the spread of English? Globalization has increased political, cultural, and economic interconnectedness. English became preferred from medium of exchange in various areas with historical factors such as British colonialism and the global influence of the United States in trade, science, and popular culture.
Anyone have a question?
What is the difference between English as a native language and second language and a foreign language? Native language is spoken is in mother tongue, for example, in the UK, USA, and second language is used. Second language is uses alongside local language for education, official and public purpose. For example, in Niger, India, foreign language is learned mainly in classroom. For example,
So it is used in the sphere of education.
yeah. For example, we are German, Russian, Japanese.
Right, thank you for your answers. Thank you for your participation. Your whole task is writing an essay on English as English program. Do you have any questions? So thank you for your attention. Goodbye. See you next lesson.
Bye.